have been advised by the Controller and Accountant General's Department to open fresh accounts with banks of their choice so they can receive their salaries. It is estimated that 1,975 public servants on the government payroll access their salaries through the GN Bank First Allied Savings and Loans Company Limited and Women's World Banking Savings and Loans Company Limited, which were among the 23 financial institutions that were closed down by the Bank of Ghana on August 26. Okay, speed up national service registration process. The Executive Director of the National Service Scheme, Mr. Mustafa Yusuf, has called on officers in charge of the NSS registration to hasten the process to prevent crowds converging on the centers. Mr. Yusuf stated that this year, the Secretariat had provided enough mechanisms and logistics to speed up the registration process and stated that personnel who have booked appointments are not supposed to spend more than 3 hours at the centers. It rather makes the place crowded and some end up not being able to register within the time. Because we are Bobo Sumaye.
I was from the Daily Graphic and Daily Graphic and Nimu has say. Someone were there to her and what just said National Cathedral, a home and na womo ashada ko ekwohwe de ekoso no mabebo manfo amane amomahunu de ekoso enti watwa mfonyini e de ababeto ase ne mfonyini no otwa na wosoro se de be ya obetimi ehu akakra asase no ne kakraka ne ne tetrete se de esi etie na Daily Graphic say abra ode ne ko atwa wisi ekwohwe de ekoso e wo ba bia yesi National Cathedral no wo hunu se asase no sesei adan ana esi susu no womo abubu bi amanaka bi na say no chirechiremu wakire ose asase no eye 14.5 acres ne tetete ene ne tenten ne kase da ho nyina no eno no wode enough eye emfie 9 wode emfie 9 na eba besi sa National Cathedral no eye bia anase ebe kase konkron bre a omamu ni nyina ho ene ebekọ akwakosom se ye kase ye kobompa ya ene ya Christopher nyina ne akwakobodompem ewo ho se wo sine kase se de be ya se Ghana obia oye Kristoni pese okọ bompa ye ana ye di dwumade sonku bia hyehyɛ so a ye betimi akọ na yakwakoye na no na Daily Graphic say enada okọkọhwe ye oduru ho no se no chichemu wacha se atemuafo makomako miensa a wonum adan anase be kase ho no no mabusuafo ete no se wonum eni ho bio na adan no nso yabubu no miensa eno no afa wose aka temuani baako anase temuafo na wo de aka no ya tutututu dan no so enchanse na wo so nyina ya tutu afiri so gate ye de dada no ana epono ana de dada no watutu pono no ntokua mekire windows eno so anase e beka se mpoma ni nyina wo matutu afiri wo ti aka se wo de afidie be si dan ni no be bu dan ni nyina e de agu efom afa wo chese ekuo baako passport office wonum ho ena afa Mali ambassador a wosu wo manamu e wo manmu ono so bia na ono so te no ana ne office ho no eno so eka ho bi ena ekuo a ye frɛ wo mo Comzis or say a communication service provider one office Africa Center for Economic Transformation and also a Economic Research Institute bi almost so de ne oso amon for mon sankan ye enti kakra obetimi aka no wo hwe ani mu so obetimi ahwe na wabubu ni nyina na afi wafiti ase na no ene wo kye se one executive director the National Cathedral Dr. Paul Pokumensa edi nkomo e ma wo kire se enche bia enru match de afi ebesim no match de na wafiti ase a wo ye adwuma na odi mfie 9 e na wo mo ekeka sie ani ebedru mfie 9 no na watimi awie anase se de osidisi wani so no watimi akurukuru akwakọ wie e wo ho Mama Bejina Kata fe so edu ensia na wode Owura Joseph Penka wono aye Deputy Attorney General wo omanyimu e na wode ne mfonyini ababeto ahasei na ne mfonyini no de to wona asem a watro wo ho ne se Daily Graphic se wo mo hyeda bo anan kɔ no ho ekokobisa ye sanse na no dwada esanjofo nhyiamu kɔ so sanse njofo nhyiamu no nam 1 Nana Pia Mensa, wono, ene ye me men's gold penyina woda no ne na pamfo ene omusi nkonwa de nsem eto Ghana fo nyina anim o masema na o mo kanyina ne se abra o free Dubai ba ye no na de ma ne koka Dubai nyina ne se ho no nkofo de ne ka eno ene kofa we mu nyina nsem bebre ba ye keka ne o masi ani a eno so ka ho bi edini sika bi a court no e ka na sem odi edema no aban mwa na nko ntimi nkwaji sika no na wontimi emehwe no ontua wonmo musika akoka men's gold ne ka na abroad is semi to dwa daily graphic say wo matena odi wo mu hu se aban anase attorney general mo anase BS so mbeka na mbeka bibia nti ono aba nan kwa ekoko bisa say anya bia na mo na semi a wo kan say na mbeka afa no say say ko tena se na ye nsentwofo hia mu na no nkyere say aban ate asem na wo ka no ye de nkrata na ye adwuma enti say na mo na any men's gold adwuma empanimfo menka na empanimfo so wo mo hwe na say wo mo pese aban eboa wo mo wo kwan bia so wo mo nkrata amfamra ana nse drone ni bisa ne say enti wo mo krata na ba mbeboa na no say secretary na wo de beba no e wo say document tato ana say ye hwe de wo pese aban ye ma no pa se ye betimi a ye beye gist wo de bansa enti wan hwe da nya no say o de krata ne ba obeya ana say won fa mantin sa na wa twero e wa ha na ni nyina mu no eye lawyer Amanda Clinton eno ye men's gold customers o musika akoka woni bi no on de o kire say na mo na ka ni say ya wo ka ni say ni sika aka Dubai aban mo ano no he de na kire e wo so oba wo de nkrata aba nkrata na nie we na kire say court buaye si emfa misika say emfa mame ana ya wo de me say sika we nti ni nyina so wo de aba e wo ahase krata to so dunso e wo daily graphic mu e na wo de aba the odi abanie wose bono region NDC amanyoku e wo ho no mani abre pa wo mo kire se afimpinu ni aduonu yakoto aba na seat bia akwakwadi MPP fo wa be se mfinhia bebrenie wo mo ntimi nyi no wo mbegya ka de wo mo gi ni 2016 no enya de a wo mu di agrokra etia no so wo de ho nsam aba begu wo kire se de afimpinu ni dunsia enkonwa MPP je ye no kwan bia so wo mo ebehwe no magye de afri wo no nsem ti wo mani abre papa se krodom e wo ho a eno wo de ho nsem so abakrata fa e fa so du edunsia e wo daily graphic mu krata fa to so aduonu e na me de eto aso wo che se ene die wo de aba beto dwa nanu ada fia de etwa mu ye beto dwa se savings and loans makuma aduonu miensa e na sesei ye beka se Bank of Ghana age wo mo license free wo no ensem e ko ba sa no aban nyuma efuo bi banks ni bi wo ho a sa savings and loans no e ho e na no market tua efa ye beka se GN Bank na eye bank e na ye ti ni dibra so ba savings and loans na eno no se de Bank of Ghana hye ye se nu December na ye December be ko na wie ye be wura fufuro nim no e wo so wo be se 400 million eda wo account ma na se no na wo de ye wo bank na se wo ye bank na se wo antimi di a ebi wo ho a na che se wo se sa wo license a enu no duru bank na ye gi free nsem kra na mso ma banks ni bi kweka wo mo ho bomu e ma ni nyina no ye kwa na ifia de beto dwa no na GN Bank say wo mo ye GN Savings and Loans afa First Allied Savings and Loans Company Limited, Women's World Banking Savings and Loans Company Limited. No, what I say, abanyuma efuo bi wo ho a wo dodo be se 1975 apem ahankro aduosom enum na wo esika na ebeka se wo makatua efa ho busumi bia etisi age wo license afri wo nsam dia na no August die wo makatua na ma ye controller se o hodu wo musika na nsa enti nani kine ya se eho na wakatua fa obetu omfo so omunya ntam so no mkope bank ya wogina ne na so ana bank ya adwuma yie na wakwa akobia account wo ho na do account no call accountants general na eho no controller in accountants general department ni yatimi akwa hyehyɛ ye hyehyɛ ma wa na afa ye de wakatua no e de afa we san se sa bank yi ai wo ho dada ne ye de fa kwa usika ma nya de ahunsa beka na bank yi mu kra ya tom enti eno so e wa ha wo de aba e wo daily graphic mo see
Yanko Ghanaian Times. 4 nabbed in connection with murder of cop. Now 4 persons have been arrested by the police in Ashanti region in connection with the murder of Corporal Bernard Entry of Manson Kwanta Divisional Police by unknown assailants at Dome Junction near Mansoa Bodom in the Amansia West District of Ashanti whilst on his way to Antoine Krum. The identity of the 4 suspects, who included 2 females, arrested at Manso Ejumem at Manso Abodom, were yet to be disclosed by the police. The Deputy Ashanti Regional Commander, Assistant Commissioner of Police, David Ajiman Ajin, who briefed journalists, said efforts were being made to arrest other suspects. The Ghanaian Times on Wednesday, August 21, 2019, reported that Corporal Entry was said to be on board a private vehicle of a small-scale miner when armed men stopped them to surrender their belongings. Investigations by the Ghanaian Times indicated that the armed men shot the policeman in the head just when he stepped out of the vehicle. Police hospital to carry out mass burial of 160 bodies. The Ghana Police Hospital in Accra is set to carry out a mass burial within 3 weeks of 160 unknown and unclaimed bodies, which have been in the mortuary since May this year to date. The bodies include unidentified victims of road accidents, paupers, and unclaimed bodies, among others. The head of public relations of the hospital, Deputy Superintendent of Police, DSP Adekye Nsroma, who disclosed these to the Ghanaian Times in Accra yesterday, said the exercise would help decongest the hospital mortuary. He said the public has been given 21 days ultimatum to contact the administration for identification and collection of the bodies of their missing relatives within such period. DSP Adekye urged the public to always have on them a form of identification cards to help in easy identification. Weed out quack medical lab operators. Health Minister directs AHPC. Back page, Ghanaian Times. The Allied Health Professionals Council has been asked to take immediate steps to clamp down on quacks operating medical laboratories in the country's major cities and towns. Health Minister Adekye Nsroma, who gave the charge on Tuesday, expressed concern over the incessant spring up of such laboratories, questioning the credibility and genuineness of the operators and the consequences thereof on unsuspecting clients. Inaugurating a renovated office building sited on the premises of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital for the AHPC, Mr. Adekye Nsroma implored the council not to relent in its sanitization system and weed out the quacks to save the general public. Back page, Ghanaian Times.
Me the Ghanaian Times and eba kratafa a ethoso miensa eho na me de ensem no efri eba na wache se nipa emakomako enan na ye ka se posini bia nipa bonfo bi kokobo ni tuo eku no asem wei beka Corporal Bernard Entry asem wei si ye wo manso nkwanta enti divisional police no wo mo akruche nsem de agu nkrata so de amampanimfo enam so wache se asem yi si ye wo Dome Junction eno ben manso abodom eno wo amanse west mensini mu ewo Asante Mantam na wo mo enam kwan so ko anto akurum we small scale miners wo mo etu fam agudie bi nkuma ni bi ena wo mo ekọ aposifo ho kosre se wo mo hia escort ena nam so ma wo mo de Corporal Ntwi ma wo mo se woni wo machi no mo ho ban ko ba bia wo mo no eye anto akurum ho nti kwam ena nipa bonfo yi ekoko twan ye omu twan wo mo na omu twan wo mo no yase for say ananse se do mu bisa mu no ena akwa pie bi se yase posi ni sifrika ni ma na omu bo ni tuo no so omu bo no ni tirim eno ano no omaku no eti eno wode ho asem ede aba posi sahina be de kire wo Asante Mantam ACP David Ajimana Jem wono ena de ensem yi to nsentwerefo anim abran nsentwerefo kokohia ye na anu kwada ena wo chechemu se sa ena sese etie na enipa makomako nan ena ye kasai wo mo aso wo mu sese wo mugu so eye ehwehwemu ede afa ho kopem se wo mo ebetimi enya asem no mu pomasibre na ekwan ye sese wo mo fa so no wonom afa so de etoso bi o katafa etoso miensa ho no ena o che se ye da so aposifo na mu o se wo kopie mu ewo police hospital Mantam had the no. Nipa makomako wo ha ne aduosia 160 and o mato na nanom won se do say wo mo adam mo kire waama o se efri mebusumi nim ebesisi e kasenti besa bosumi enan ntam ko bosumi num nie e no mada ho saa wo mabusuafo ma emehwe yenim se o de wa mu kokoto ba bi sa na yare sabia kopim se obeyi akosie no ewo mu a wo sa wokọ na do ani ko twa wisi kwere nanso wo se ente saa wo mo nkọ ho obi ama ho enipa no kra no wo wu ye ne ba bia mo kofa no omde ne ba ye no kra no obi akra meka sa mu ni ye omde a empo na se nipa no obekọ no aba wo ba behwe mpo eti anam so ama police hospital PRO ana panyin oni amansan di nkita ho ema police hospital DSP ya nketia ye boa wode ato Ghanaian Times sentrofo anim ne yeso ye kenkan akere mo na ya mama ni aba mo so nti nipa wo ha ane aduosia ena wo che se na wo tweme ensan tam no wo mo twen wo mo tamichuku ya mo amane 21 days in the fwa aduonu ba ko no wa mu bi ayira na pese okorhwe no mesre wadaro ma betimi akọ na wakọ akorhwe wo che se wo mo deda ho ne bi wo ho a eye nkwanhia ena siye nkwanhia ni mu no nipa no kọ ye bia wo wuye wa atoye mu ho a ye ne kokoto mo kire obesi sa abre no ano no obia emeka se ni nipa bi ayira wo baabi afa no achi wo mo asebe wo mo ebia ebeka se wo adwene mu ha kakra na nipa na ko wato baabi na yakwa akofa na de aba no na akeka ka ho bi na ama no abasa enti empanifo se wo mo twen se abusuafo ni bi beba so obi amade a ene e mass barrier beka mo nyina bom na yasie wo mo Ghanaian Times akire ha ena wo che se wode ato Allied Health Professional Council anim so omo hwe se labs ahodo bebre wo kwa yaresa bia baby ti se kolebu wo kokumase a konfa no che eho so saa wo kwa wo se ye wo laboratories ahodo bebre kwanti se wo kwa yaresa bia na se doctor kacho se kona koye hwemu fa mogam odwunsom wagyanan mu ene ne keka ka ho ano akọ na no ena odumanyafo kwakwa agima manu ekwa kodi dwuma bia wo kolebu oduwo no hu se bebre kwa ene ho na bebre na wo ho no ena o se enti mo gidi pa se bebre atwa ho lab bebre ba atwa wa hye ye kasai wo mu nyina ena wo wo kwan so wo ye adwuma enti mo hwe na mo hwehwe mu yie na wo ye kwak wo nya de obi ho kra wonim ho beli eso no aba ba ye bi ho mo hwe na mo tutum na mo ma papa no enka ekoba se ya etimi de ohaw eba enti Ghanaian Times akira ha ena wode eho asem ede aba ti
bench warrant for Tumfor's chief killer is also published on page 3 of the Daily Guide. The Ashanti Regional Police Command has declared one Sadat Muhammad, 38, aka Alhaji, wanted over the murder of Asampo Oheneba Kweju Afudwo. Investigations made by the police so far indicate that Alhaji, who was a close friend of the late traditional leader, might have a hand in the chief's murder. According to the police, the Asampo was said to have visited Alhaji in his house at Ordineho Kwadaso on Sunday morning. Later, the two friends traveled together on that same day. Some hours later, the body of the chief was found in his black Land Cruiser vehicle at Boom on the main Ijra and Kranza highway in the Ashanti region. ACP David Ajiman Ajim, Deputy Ashanti Regional Police Commander, said the chief was murdered and attempts by the police to locate Alhaji to assist in their investigations had proved futile. The police have therefore secured an arrest warrant from court, so we have declared Sadat Muhammad, aka Alhaji, wanted, the police chieftain told journalists in Kumasi. Now, they were addressing a press conference yesterday. They cautioned that anybody who is harboring Alhaji in his house to alert the police to arrest him immediately. It is a crime in our laws to harbor a criminal, and so I urge the public, especially those who may be harboring him, to desist from that in their own interest. Page 3 of the Daily Guide. And, okay, so that is it. I could say Daily Guide.
Katafe to so miensa wo Daily Guide mu na me de eto aso na wode ohene bakwadwo afodo mfonyini aba beto ahasei asante mantem de say de briche pa na abo ohene na oben otumfo papa na akonwa wote so no so edi mu ewo asantememu papa na no no chese asantema ntempo osifo chese abrante bia wanya envinhia aduasan wo chese de efiri no a yabom amane wo ye kase bomu a de ne mfonyini ene na nam TV ya so no na Daily Guide chese eno aposifo yes adwofo hyiamu a omu de mfonyini baaye na o masam o mo kanyina ene se wo mo eye hwehwemu bisa mu anopa no ese ohini na no kwasi da nwumre yese ebo obese no nan nim ho no na wo mu koko hu se nipa bi akuno anase wo mu agene kra e de afri ne nsem na aposifo kire se abrantie yi a wanya mfinhia aduasa enwotwe a ye frɛ no Sadat Muhammad adodo na frɛ na Alhaji wo mu hu se kwasi da na no pa eye asampon hene otufo asampon hene ohene bakwadwo afodo yi okoni fie ene ne kodi nkita ho sede na oye yo sede na eyo wo mo kyese wo ma ehunu wo mo nim de esiye wo mu nim de kokoba ye na wo ko ni fie no woni ni nyina ene pie ye nti ase de wo mu ko ba bia wo na so wo mu tu kwan no so wo ma ehu wo mu nyina akira kwan bio kopem se wo mu kokoto se asa otumfo asampon hini enipa bi aye ne bone saa ama wode ne car no ane car no wo mu de akwakosi baabi na eno na aposifo se efiri saa bre na eja wo mu bisebise mu na wo mu ka se alaji anopa oba ne ho afa ye kwa alaji fie ne ye kwa korhwe alaji akobisa nse alaji ebraban na wohu ohene ebraban na eja ne kwan ana won ne ntam tete ya wo mkoye alaji ni ho na akenkan akwa animu a wo kye se won ne yere kra efie ho no wo mu ni ho wo mu hwehwe na wo mu ne phone adum kye se wo mu hwehwe ne ba bia wo mu hu no nti won ma akọ court akwaje court order kye se sei opanyi wo ye wanted esan se wo mususu pa wo ye main suspect obi o mususu odi kan se ono na ebi o mesusu se etwa to kra wo hu no enti ese fata se nko beba no abeyi nsem bi ano e de ama aposifo aboa ma hwehwemu na timi edi mu enso so besi sa abre o ma bona ho ma abo mo hwehwe ne ba bi o mu hu ni fie oni wo ene nsem o keka ho no eba na wo mo kire se enipa bi ka ho se aposifo se wo mo tototo ma no ni nyina na brante ba akwa ye se oben ohene ne pa nso aposifo se wo mo toto na no ama ene daily guide o de ho asem e de aba
Yenko the Chronicle. Health Minister is angry over proliferation of pharmacy shops, laboratories at presence of Kolebu and Komfanoche hospitals. And I ask, beyond the anger, what next? Now, the Health Minister, Kwekwaji has raised an alarm over the proliferation of pharmacy shops and laboratories in and around the Kolebu Teaching Hospital and the Komfanoche Teaching Hospital in Accra and Kumasi, respectively. Now, the Kolebu Teaching Hospital alone has as many as 55 private laboratory outlets dotted along a kilometer stretch, purporting to be providing laboratory services. But according to the minister, the sort of services being rendered by these private entities is nothing to write home about, warning that quack laboratory technicians have invaded the sector, which is a source of worry to the government. Source of worry to the government. So what? Now, speaking based on evidence, he said, one major area of concern to the ministry is activities of quacks who have invaded the health delivery system, particularly the medical laboratories and pharmaceutical practice. According to him, sometimes single tests conducted by the quack laboratories give different results. The minister, who was speaking at the commissioning of Allied Health Profession Council building at Kolebu Teaching Hospital on Tuesday this week, said the development was not only rampant at both Kolebu and Komfanoche, but other teaching hospitals in Cape Coast and Tamale. Okay.
Me the Chronicle brese some krata na eto aso krata fa eto so me ensa na ode aba saa na ode owura akwaku agema me no so afọ hwa apomuden ho nsem ode nimfonyini abeto ahasa na o chese na ni abre papa na adwen chese ohun ba bi ofa na adwen mpo enkonkosi ni nyina eya asema na ye kenkan ya o chese say pharmacy shops na laboratories ahodo Kolebu ene Komfanoche Teaching Hospitals na ene edoso chese emu nwakra ufiri ayasabia na pharmacies e wo ho no doso bebre pa na laboratories ahodo no so doso bebre pa na no so e wo ho na eno na opanyin bi sa se edien pa na chese sa labs e wo ho nyina wo nyina ye adwuma na se de se na efata anase ye papa a wo mo eye na eno o chese se uba ni ministry ho de ha wo mo ene se laboratories ni bi betimi aye nhwehwemu wo de bekọ no na mama wrong information bi akọ hwemogem HIV wo anase wuni omko hwemu no say positive positive na wo de bekọ no na afa ayem hwehwe beto nipa no so ebe kaka say mistake mistake pa sa de we de one hwe ya wo betimi kura wuo na umfie anase bra sese wuo kura na endru ye eti we mu nyina ye nyoma hodo bi e ha opanyini e na wo che se sefata na wo de na ni bububu ye na wo so ko ba bi ti se Kolebu seya eye mako aduonum 55 private laboratories ne pharmacy shops no ono akenkan ye no eye 55 aduonum enti wa hye se empanimfo ntu anamo no mo nhwe na wonyiyi wo mo nya papa ni mfrim na no atimi aboa ama apomuden fam ho no enema akoyie.
A court Daily Statesman, 5 seized in Somenya after smuggling of PFJ fertilizer. Free cocoa drink for pupils from September, page 7 of the Daily Statesman. Now, the government will launch the Cocoa Beverage Project, CBP, from next month to supply pupils with a cocoa drink in addition to their school meals under the Ghana School Feeding Program. Cynthia Mamley Morrison, Minister, Gender, Children and Social Protection, who made this announcement, said the intervention was a step towards boosting the nutritional intake of pupils across the country. The initiative is in line with the school feeding program's strategic aim to shore up school enrollment, attendance and retention, and reduce short-term hunger and malnutrition. The minister, who doubles as the MP for Aguna West, gave this hint at the day-long regional workshop for the stakeholders on the cost-benefit analysis of the GSFP's 2018 report in Cape Coast. It brought together coordinators of the program, representatives of the Ghana Education Service, Ghana Health Service, caterers, cooks, and the media. The workshop was organized by the Gender Ministry with support from the World Food Program to disseminate the CBA report findings and the benefits of the GSFP and to agree on the way forward. Pupils to get free cocoa drink for breakfast from September. That is the story published on page 7 of the Daily Statesman. Now, page 2 says 5 people have been arrested by the Somenya Police Command in the Eastern Region after they allegedly tried stealing fertilizer meant for cocoa farmers at Samra Boy in the Western Region. Now, the 5 who were drivers were driving 5 trucks carrying a total of 4,000 bags of fertilizer, which were being transported from the Temahabo. The Somenya Commander of the Police, Deputy Superintendent Isaac Otin, said the fertilizer smugglers will be arraigned before court. We arrested 5 trucks of fertilizer, with each truck containing 800 bags of fertilizer. This makes it 4,000 bags in total that have been intercepted in Somenya, and we have impounded them, and they are at the Municipal Assembly, the smugglers, with the police and assisting investigations. According to them, they loaded from the Tamahaba and were heading towards Samraboy in the Western Region. With 4,000 bags of fertilizers, we need to put them before the court. Well, that's the story. So, real sector stakeholders said to avoid political bias is also here. Former VC Defense University of Ghana is also on page 3 of the Daily Statesman.
Yo, abisa for me the Daily Statesman na eba Daily Statesman dia wo de aba me fiti ase wo kratafa to so mienu na makoma ni mo hosa mienu no na ode aba wo chese nipa mako enum na ya che wo mo sabre ya che wo mo e wo Somenya aposifo na mo wo ho no e wo apoya mantam na wo mo bo moden e so nkrofo epachi ni nyina ne se wo mo awia fertilizer wo mo kwa akoton eno omso mumu ewo Samaboy eno ewo atoye mantem na no dwada na sa enipa numi omo ye adrobafo etie bia ye de soma omo si amfanso omo se de yo sa enipa wo mbe kire mu de akire aposifo na wo mo soso neoma esan se omo ye adrobafo no omo kita tractor kese bi wo se ka ba ku bia no na ye wo mu fertilizer no makomako ahanwotwe 800 bucks fertilizer na wom etia ni nyina bom 4,000 empem ennan enanka wo mo ede ekọ enti Somenya ho na yaso wo mu sa na no na o chesa sa enipa nyina no wo magye fertilizer na kwa assembly na face enipa no ya che wo mo no ye de wo mo akopiem wo aposifo ensem wo taye ye sa na je se ha adwene na no o chesa se wo mo hwe mu na no wo mo load fertilizer ni free Temahabo ye bia no mo de kode sa kwan no so ene eche wo mo ene ne wode ehwa asem no ede aba ewo the Daily Statesman mu me ba kratafa efoso enson a asem de pa de ye nyina ebo mpa ye ne se betini akoso a ama bibia metwintwan mu na eno wo ba mane wa ha se wada bibia di eno eba bebo aban no ene de san hihye yi ede aba Ochese cocoa beverage project. Na sa project yi de wo mu nie abusua. Ebeboa papa wo mse ehye Ghana school feeding program no ase. Na ebeboa anopa bia school fo nkwada akọ school a. Ya ma mu cocoa drink. Enu ye breakfast. Gidi se tea wo mu de bread be ka ho wo ho. Aye cocoa yi de na bia wo mu de bread be ka ho ama eno so aye kama na wo matimi e de aboma no so twede. Na Mama Cynthia Mamle Morrison Osofo hwe mma nkwada ne omanfo asetena mu bambo so e no de asemi kokoto dwa abra na wo mo de report Ghana school feeding program ho enhyehyeye de o ma ya kwaduro wo ha o mu hia ne o ma mu hia ne sa ne o ma no wo mo ebo ho amane e na mami e kan nsem yi e de e kire omanfo nyina se September se sa abra ne ebie school a omanfo nkwada afiti ase ekọ school mo kofoforo ne de keka aka ho edini nyina mu no wo mo e de beka ho na afi ho hyehyeye no wo matimi ahwe ama omanfo esese onya eso emfaso titiru ne nkwada wo beko school anopa a eno beboa wo mo no etimi aboa etie no so wo kyese abra wo kana na Ghana education service for wo ho Ghana health service for wo caterers wo no school feeding aduane no wo mo so no mo wo ho wo mo no aduane na nkasa ne nsentwerefo nyina e no mo twa hia ya wo mo Chese emwa ebe free World Food Program eshase etini nyina no ka ho bi na ode eba
Yenko, the new crusading guide Asamankese has more land for 1D 1F Abodia Sanhene lobbies government for factories. That story is on page 10 of the new crusading guide. Now, the Abodia Sanhene of the Asamankese traditional area, Bafo Kwame Wiachi, has promised the ruling government, the NPP and the good people of Asamankese, that none of the area are ready to support the 1D 1F and anybody who is ready to use Asamankese land for projects that would bring jobs to the youth. In an interview with the media, Bafo Kwame Wiachi advised the youth of the area to engage in agri production after school instead of migrating to seek greener pastures elsewhere. He made this known yesterday at the celebration and launch of the second Obujang Festival at the Asamankese Palace. Launching the event, Bafo Kwame Wiachi said none of the traditional area are ever ready to support the government vision of creating the district one factory by giving out vast lands for projects and factories at no cost. Ahead of the main Obujang Festival, the Abodia Sahene Bafo Kwame Wiachi cautioned the youth and the municipality to desist from negative activities that will create instability and chaos in the area and lead to their arrest. Story is on page 10. Council of State praises Akufo-Addo, says Ghana is blessed to have a listening president. The Council of State has described President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo as a listening president who takes his advices seriously. Now, this, according to the Council of State, is based on the expeditious manner in which the president accepted and implemented the recommendation for the downward review of the tariff regime at the country's port of entry. The council said the president took decision barely 6 weeks after the meeting at the Jubilee House. Ashanti Regional MPP on fire is also here. Tension at Sevinya Breku. Irate youth rise against chief for blocking university project. Irate youth of Senya Breku traditional area in the Awutu Senya West district in the central region have massed up on the streets of Senya Breku to picket against the Omanhene of the town, Nenyi Isiu, the 7th, for allegedly retarding development in the area. Senya Breku is predominantly fishing and a farming community with no jobs for the teeming youth in the area. A situation, according to him, have hindered the youthful exuberance in the town. Yes, Akosia.
Abusafo me the new crusading guide na eba mi fiti ase o katafa so miensa ho mi wi afi na makopie mu ewo edu ho na katafa so miensa no na wode nana otuo srebo chairman de ma council of state wode nimfo nyini ato aha fefefe na asem a wo kan nyina ene se Ghana nyame ehira ye papa papa se yenya president ya asem bi si na so wokọ kakasa nana we de ka wo ye ni se yanka beboa nana we de nkate so kakra nana we de dan ni se kakra otie enti ye na nyame ase ewo eno ho na council of state eno omo che se president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo oyo omampanyi a wotie asem papa eti wo mutu no fo a aso mo ye futufo edi asem bi ombeka bia no ade a otie na eno na Council of State empanifo wo mo eche se enwoma hodo bebre no mo de ato nanim ama watu anamon ede afa ho etisi watu anamon afa ho na esefata se obeka ebi eye port ehon sensem se de eto no na esitie afei wo hwe wo mo tonton cars yi die ya sa luxury taxi ye ba ye womo koye womo ka che Ghana mampanyin na otwe makomako nsia mu no na watimi entem sa ante na otwe na makomako nsia entem no na wahwe na watu hu anamo nti we mu nyina aka ho ne nioma hodo bi na empanifo agina so a womo che se nyame ahira se enya mampanyin a otie futusem anase se wutunufo a wofa asamba kwa wasan de aba se senya breku emabu na wo ho mani abre pa se krodom mani abre ani brain soja ka bon se nkrofo ani emoja firi ho ba na no eno wache se senya breku traditional area ho wutu senya mansininim me se wutu senya atoye mansininim wo mfimfini mantem mo eno wache se mabunu no wo mo gi twije trada wo mo nam montene so ene wo manwuma no ene omanhene a owo kuronim wo mo ekoye na boboa no na eye nanyi isiu a otoso enson ena omukọ ọkọka cha ne se wama empuntu nyuma nkoso wo epotam ho ni nyina ne se wama omo ho ni nyina se nya de awokọpo a adwuma foforo bia ni ho enti omususu se wono wonya hwe wasitese project kura akoso a wompene enti eno na ma mabunu bu afu ama omatutu anamo akopiem ho na boboa no a womo bo saasubo ye ne wode ho asem ede aba omo chese nanka university project bi esese ekoso no ohini yesi ne kwanti emabunu no omani abrepa ne no wode ho asem ede aba na abodiasa hene abodiasa ehene ene o chese ensase kakra wa abodiasa enti wo ka kira ban wone na pamfo obi a wo pese wo bebie adwuma ewa abodiasa no wo de tutu anamo ne bra ensase ne de da ho kakra yantam kese pa wo ba wo betwa bi e de ama wo mu twa ama no na wo de adwuma e ba maburu ni o manfa wo mpotem ho no eno so e beboa ma manya adwuma aye eti one district one factory aban eye no ogidi passes aban ba wo betimi aba abeye bi e wo ho ni nyina mu no wo de afutuo ma mabunu se wo mo anhwe enwuma no betimi aye bi wo ho no munya se wo mu wie suku na makotena krom ene basabasa ye nyina no wo mo enyi emfiri ho
Daily Searchlight Adekye or say Hosi Jampo in deadlock on whether or not University of Ghana is delivering fit for purpose education. The CEO of bulk oil distributor Senyor Hosi has responded to a lecturer at the Political Science Department to the University of Ghana who criticized his attack on the university's management. The businessman advised Professor Jampo to inspire a modern face of what UG should be as a young lecturer. Mr. Hosi says the lecturer's reply to his summaries how the University of Ghana has largely engaged in a one-way communication which has been generally intolerant of taking honest feedback and criticism. Nanado slams BOG for banking crisis is also here. Global Access Savings and Loans lost $5 million to fraud. Kofi Amwa reveals. It's also on page 3. The President Nadu Akufo-Addo has blamed the Bank of Ghana for the banking crisis which led to the collapse of some 420 financial institutions in the country. The famous banking scandal, which has engulfed all of us, if the Bank of Ghana had acted responsibly and dealt with some of these issues like it should have been done, we would never have gotten to the situation. It was lax, the President said during his second meeting with members of the Council of State. Page 3, the Daily Searchlight.
Me the Daily Searchlight na eba nsama hudo bebre na ewo ahasei ensemo a Senyor Hosi ekọ dwumadie sonkwa na omo ahyehye 70th anniversary University of Ghana okoye okokan ye ehun nsem ayeho no ode ehun asem e de aba o chese we kan na we yakan okan wieye no acheche fo mpanimfo a wo mo enim de e wo nwumasua no bia yiyi wo ma no a Professor Jampo so de ni de keka aka ho nyina no ewo Daily Searchlight mu na me bakata fa etoso mienu ho no a ase ha sei ana wode Ghana mampanyi na adodanko Akufo-Addo any Council of State members ehia no wo bo wo mama ne fa Bank of Ghana nsem a esisi no ho na wo chese Bank of Ghana nsem ya abai wono onfa so boni mo bia o whatever Bank of Ghana for no a wo mo na ma ene baby a yedru Ghana man panyi kire mu se ene yekeka bom a banks ahodo ni nyina yekeka bom be se 420 ahanan ne aduonu ene ye yisika krabia enyumaku ankrofo sika ewo ho nkrofo sika ewo ho no ese wani ense o ka kire ne one way or the other ubon so obi de obi ho akoka adwam o baabi enti ye how kese pa eda o mamu ni nyina so ena Ghana man panyi kire se sanka Bank of Ghana ye o madwuma yie ana mo mani da wa nke nye ne se yadru baabi a yadru eti we no oka e de e kire empanimfo me kire ye Council of State Members enti we mu nyina ye ha enti enei e safata se ye nneoma yie na saa o ye nei e bi ansan nsibio ti.
Yeah, Daily Post busted PPA bosses company selling government contracts is also here. Okay, akoso be say we na sa and boba kumbi so we bi o ha be boss ana sorry
nti de wa kana
what story na
afi na ni be hwemu a
sa ene opa betimi ahuri na they won't cry bi I think we're almost done. Yeah, it is all advert be abeya no why na they are very
ti advert be ya
sa ana de obi anyo ti ama
ese mi ti de mi yi
okay
mi yi do yi ye ne de celebrity baba
okay
ene yi mi ti ma me
okay right abusan for ye Daniel ho say bar sports is next mun twen be ba sisi a